My next guest will be back in action on October the 12th at UFC Vegas 98 when he takes on Abdul Razak Alhassan. And that, of course, is Josh Fremd on the program. Josh, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Glad to be here chatting it up with you.
Glad to have you back. Always a pleasure to talk to you, my man. A lot to get to, but first, I want to start with your overall impression of UFC 306 in the Sphere. It really was quite the spectacle. Dana White said he's never going to do it again. I think he will if they made enough money and obviously garnered enough attention. What was your overall takeaway?
Amazing. Dude, I was glued to my television. I didn't even like a lot of friends wanted to go out and watch this, and I couldn't be bothered with it. I wanted to be at home with my TV, my surround sound, and just be glued to it. And I'm glad I made that choice because it was amazing. It was phenomenal. It translated so well over television that I couldn't imagine what it must have been like in the Sphere.
A lot of people are saying that obviously there was a big step up once it hit the pay-per-view. Would you agree with that? Do you feel like maybe they waited a little too long to kind of like up the game?
No, I mean I thought it was timed out really well. There's only so much you can do, and from what I've heard about what it takes to put on a show in there, it's very costly, it's very hard, and I think they did very well with it.
Yeah, it was absolutely breathtaking, just the visuals. And I can't imagine what it would be like as a fighter making that walk and seeing yourself on the screen like the size of Godzilla.
Yeah, like the camera angles from when they were walking out, like I couldn't imagine what it must have been like. Just oh man, the feeling you get walking out to a UFC fight alone is crazy. And I've done stadiums and that's amazing, but like a Sphere is just a completely different experience.
Yeah, I have to imagine they're going to do it again at some point. Maybe it won't be until later next year, but I think Dana White, he's a savvy enough businessman. He'll find a way to do it again down the line. Also, real quick, your thoughts on Marab beating Sean O'Malley. Did you think this is a situation where Marab is just clearly the better fighter, or did it look like maybe O'Malley had an off night? What did you think of that?
I thought it looked like O'Malley had an off night, and then after watching it again on without like commentary or anything like that, I don't know. I feel like you have to beat the champion, and I don't know. After rewatching, like in the moment, it definitely seemed like Marab won with his wrestling and his grappling and dominance. But when you go back and look at it, I don't know. It depends on what the judges were looking for and what exactly they scored it as, but. Congrats to Marab. That was an amazing performance. Sean, to me personally, I don't know. He didn't look the same. He didn't look fast, or he looked a little flat-footed. Who knows? It's not. I don't want to take away anything from anyone, but the fight played it how it did, and I just thought that Sean looked slow.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. He had an injury. He's out for 9 months now. Do you think when he does come back, he should have to fight someone else to get another title shot, or has he at this point earned maybe an immediate rematch once he is ready and healthy?
I think him personally, since he's such a huge star, I think he should get an immediate rematch. If not, then him versus Sandhagen would be an amazing fight to watch. So either one, I think works.
Yeah, that would be a banger of a fight. That's a good call right there. Back to you here, Josh. The last time that we spoke, it was way before the Petroski fight. You were actually supposed to fight Cesar Almeida, but you did have an injury leading into that fight, causing the cancellation. Can you just kind of tell me a little bit about what happened there and just your road back to recovery?
Yeah, I didn't tell anyone this for the longest time because I had some stuff going on in the back with it, but I was actually in two car accidents within 2 weeks. It's a huge reason why I had to pull out. Both were not my fault. The first one, I was at a red light, and let's just say an undocumented person stole a car and rear-ended me while I was at a red light and kind of like got really messed up my neck. And then literally 2 weeks later, I was going through a stop sign as a passenger in someone else's car, and an Uber ran a red light and T-boned us. So unfortunate events for me in those 2 weeks. So the training wasn't working with my neck and everything. So I had to pull out from that. But I've done a lot of PT, a lot of different things to get healthy. and I was able to get healthy and able to fight in July.
Wow. Geez, that's scary, man, because either one of those could have been way worse, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Thankfully I drive a big truck, so the rear ending it gave me a nice little whiplash, but overall I was okay. I was in a little tiny Subaru, my friend's Subaru, when we got hit. So the Uber driver one was a little scary, but thank goodness, it wasn't my side that got T-boned, and he didn't get hit on his side. It was more like a passenger, so we kind of spun. But it was a weird situation, and I'm glad that past it.
Yeah, man. I say all the time, people, well, not everyone, but so many people just don't know how to drive. Like, you really have to have your head on a swivel out there.
At all times. At all times. Some lady almost pulled out in front of me the other day, and I could have swore all of my East Coast driving was gone. Man, no one else heard it. It was just me and my car, but I laid into this woman like she did. You're supposed to look left, right, left, right. She didn't even look. She didn't even look. It was a highway. She just started pulling out. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I got to be careful with road rage. Like if someone does something stupid and I get angry, you just never know nowadays. You hear about all these incidents like on the news where there's some road rage happens and then a gun's pulled. Like, it's scary
Yeah.
out there. So like, do you catch yourself sometimes like, okay, just, take a deep breath and not lose my shit, so
Yeah.
to speak?
Oh, for sure. I mean, unless someone like hits my truck, I could care less. If you hit my truck, then we're gonna have a problem. But if someone like almost hits me or whatever, like just keep moving on with your day. I don't like to get too deep into it.
Yeah. Well, it'd be a really bad problem for someone to have a road rage incident with a UFC fighter. Just saying, that would be a real bad day. Uh, let's talk about the fight. Obviously, with Andre Petroski, that was the opponent after the Almeida cancellation. Tough fight. The guy's a really good grappler, wrestler. That was a UD loss. Is there any big takeaways from that one, or is it just like, man, I was in there against a really good wrestler, and I just maybe didn't keep it on the feet if I wanted to, or was that your game plan? Did you want to go to the ground with him?
So nothing taken away from Andre. I think Andre's a great wrestler, not just a good wrestler, a great wrestler. I think he's awesome. From what I took away from that fight, truthfully, just to be real, I froze. I didn't do anything that I trained to do. I like didn't. I haven't even really watched the fight. Like because I know what I did wrong, and I just didn't show up. I didn't defend a takedown. I didn't have any sense of urgency to get up. I played jiu-jitsu with him, so like it was more an internal problem that I feel like I faced there. I felt like I could have gave Andre a way better fight. I could have gave the fans a way better fight. I had the privilege and honor to fight in Denver, which I manifested. So I'm just not happy with my performance overall with that. So I need to not start slow. I need to do what I'm training to do and just let it go when the lights come on.
Was it harder, like more pressure on you fighting in Denver in front of all the family and friends?
No, I wouldn't say pressure because I enjoy pressure. I enjoy all of that, but it was more, I think, of the thing because I know what Andre's good at. I know like certain positions and certain things. If I let him get to certain positions, and he's really good at it. So I was trying to avoid those situations. I didn't really put myself in tough situations to get him to push because I was just playing too cautious. I was being too cautious, and that's what I think it was.
Gotcha. Well, talking about pressure, two straight losses now. Are you feeling it going into this fight, to the pressure to really win?
Whew. Buddy, yeah. I mean, I'd be lying if I said no. But I've been here before. My UFC career didn't start off the greatest with 0-2. But I've been here before. I know what I need to do. And I'm just gonna go do it. I'm coming out of that cage either with my shield or on it. That's how I'm looking at it right now.
How many fights do you have left on your UFC contract?
Two.
Two. So this one and one more.
This one and one more.
Okay. Well, you got an opponent that's really exciting. Obviously, we know what happened in his most recent fight with your teammate, friend, Cody Brundage. Does that give you even more motivation to go in there and put on a show?
Nah. What happened in his fight with Cody is what happened in his fight with Cody. There's really nothing you can pick from that in my point of view. And Cody and I are just different stylistic fighters is all. And I want to go in there for more an intrinsical goal of proving to myself that I'm better than what I showed. There's not really a lot of external things that motivate me, like, oh, I got to get this back. I got to do this for that and the other. But it's more for myself. I'm ready to go in there and fight this guy purely because I know that I'm better than what I've showed, and I need to go prove that.
And I kind of felt bad for Cody, all the backlash that he got after that fight. And it's real easy for people to talk junk, when they're not stepping inside of the octagon. They're not the one that's experiencing everything that you guys do. As a fighter, what was your takeaway on just how that ended and just the backlash that Brundage experienced?
As a fighter and how the fight ended, that sucks. It's just unfortunate for both parties involved. That's not how Cody wanted it to go. Like I know that's not how his opponent wanted it to go. And as far as the backlash that Cody received, it's hard not to get angry. Like that's my boy. People they have not a clue what it's like to get punched in the face, let alone try and have a man who's trying to take your head off in front of cameras in your underwear in front of thousands of people. Like they don't understand it. So it's kind of like taking it with a grain of salt. I think a perfect example this past weekend, I went to the Steelers game. They were out here in Denver. They played the Broncos, and we're sitting there, and I hear this guy behind me, couple rows up, fat, out of shape, angry old man, just screaming, saying that he knows best. He knows what's better than the head coach down there. And it's just, that's what you got to kind of look at it as. Just people have no idea what they're talking about. And even if they watch it a million times, they've watched it all their life, they've studied it, unless you've been in there, I can't take anything serious you say.
Yeah. And those same I've said this probably a dozen times or more in interviews, but those same people that are talking junk online and trying to tear fighters down, they're the first people that want to come up and shake your hand and get a picture with you in person.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've witnessed that. I'm not even that big of a name at all, and I've witnessed it. Like the same people who are in my inbox calling me all type of names. I've had multiple instances where I end up getting a picture, they tag me, and then I look and I'm like, oh, that's who that was. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And you must get it even more now. We've talked about this before, but like the Travis Kelce lookalike thing, you even got the mustache going on right now. He has the mustache. So it's like even more similar now. You got the hat, the sunglasses on. Is it happening more and more now that Kelce is like a mega superstar and dating maybe the most famous person on earth?
Yeah, two things. One, I get it all the time. I used to get it in college a lot, and I get it a ton out here when I'm out with friends. And the mustache was more of a joke because I went to the Creed concert a couple weeks ago with some friends, and I was trimming up my beard and I messed it up. So I just trimmed everything down, kept the mustache as a joke. It's divorced dad rock. It's Creed. It's Three Doors Down. And I got good reviews. So I was like, all right, I'll keep it for a little bit.
Okay. It looks good. Yeah. You just keep it rolling.
Appreciate it.
All right. You mentioned football. You're from Pennsylvania. I did see that you went home to Connellsville. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but
Yeah.
you were helping some people in the area with some MMA. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and just what that meant to you? It looks like it meant quite a bit.
Yeah, it meant a ton. So I'm from Connellsville, which is south of Pittsburgh. And when I was growing up, I wanted to be a fighter, right? And the only thing that Connellsville is really known for is wrestling. There was no boxing, there was no kickboxing. There was a beat up old karate studio that no one really used. So there's really nothing in Connellsville for someone to get into MMA. So I had to travel to Pittsburgh. I had to travel to different places to get involved. And I found this guy who ended up dating or married or something to a girl that I went to high school with. They moved back to Connellsville. He bought a place and started his own kickboxing gym. He is belted through Duke Rufus and Rufus Sports. So like he has a really good knowledge of kickboxing. He's competed before. And I just wanted to come home and help in any way I can because I didn't have that growing up. And now that there's somewhere in Connellsville, you don't have to travel to Pittsburgh for it, in Connellsville where you can go, you can learn jiu-jitsu, you can learn kickboxing, you can learn MMA. I just wanted to, whatever way I could, help. And he allowed me to come and run a little class, little seminar thing, and just be a part of it. And I thank him so much from that every day.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. Is that something that, maybe when you go back home in the future that you'll do again?
Yeah, for sure. Anytime that I can go home and help, I'm more than happy to. I don't need paid. I don't need any of that. Just being a part of it is enough for me.
And the feedback you got from the people in the community, everyone loved it?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
Which
good for you.
blew my mind. I still don't, it's weird because everyone stays in their own little bubble. You have your bubble, I have my bubble, and you don't really think too much about it. But when I went home, I realized like I actually make kind of an impact on the community, which I never ever pictured in my life.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I wanted to address that because I thought that was super cool when I did see it. October 12th is right around the corner. Tell me how camp has been. Who have you had as far as like main training partners at Factory X? I know you have just a plethora of studs to choose from.
Yeah. Main ones for this camp is Austin Jones, who's going to be in my corner, and Cody Brundage, who's going to be in my corner. Both very good looks. Both. I made an agreement with them. I was like, I promise you, I will not get mad, but during sparring, I need you to try and take my head off. I need you to try and knock me out. I need you to try and hurt me. And I promise I won't get mad because that's what this dude's going to come out and do. He's going to try and take my head off. He's going to try and hit me really freaking hard. So don't be afraid to do it. And it's been a great camp. I've dug deep a lot, and I'm excited to go out and perform.
Yeah, and Abdul has 12 wins. All 12 are by knockout or TKO. So that's what he does. He comes in, he throws heavy leather. He's looking to take your head off. How careful do you have to be with exchanges with this guy? Is it all the way in or all the way out?
Oh, you got to be mindful. You got to be careful. I people seem to forget. Like I was a Golden Gloves boxer, so I know what I got to do with this fight. I know that I'm capable of exchanges with him, and I the only person to ever really put me in a bad situation like that of unconsciousness is Gregory Rodriguez. And look at that guy. That's a stud right there. So I'm pretty confident in my chin. I'm pretty confident in my durability. I'm not going to stand there and let him hit me, of course, but I feel confident.
Does Alhassan have as much power as RoboCop?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
Based on what you've seen, are they comparable?
I would have to say, yeah, kind of. Honestly, now that I'm remembering all of the knockouts, yeah, I mean, Gregory didn't have as many knockouts until he went to Florida and started training. But once he got his stand up down, obviously, as you've seen, he does very well. I think they have the same power, just different types of power.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. You have a massive height advantage in this fight, 6 inches, I believe. The reach is only 3 inches. When you look at that, like, how much is your height advantage going to help in this fight to kind of like keep him at bay?
It it has to. I have to keep him at bay. Like you said, all the way in, all the way out. I can't stay in that gray area where his power can get to me. So it has to play a huge part.
What do you think of his takedown defense? If you want to get this fight to the ground, do you feel like you're going to be able to get it there easily?
I think that when I choose to shoot, I'm generally in good position for it. If I choose to take him down, we'll see. I mean, I feel like I'm confident no matter where this fight goes. I feel like initially, yeah, he stopped Cody's takedown, but that was a completely different style of takedown. I think that if I wanted to take him down, I could take him down.
All right. I can't wait for this fight, man. And as you mentioned, Jones and Brundage in your camp here and they'll be in your corner for this fight as well. Tell me a little bit about how Dustin Jacoby's looking right now. He's got a big fight around the corner, end of the year against Vitor Petrino. Is he in camp right now? Are you seeing him a lot?
Yeah, I'm seeing DJ a lot. He's not quote unquote in camp, how does they say, but the guy's a gym rat. He's going to be in the gym no matter what, and he's a stud as always. Like he might not be my main training partner, but I definitely get my looks in with him because like I've said this countless interviews, like I'm a better fighter when I have Dustin Jacoby next to me training. So he's looking good as always.
Yeah. And Anthony Smith has a big fight against Dominic Reyes. If you don't mind, analyze that one for me. How do you see that one going?
I see Anthony Smith submitting him.
Okay. Right to the point. I like it. I mean, I was actually surprised. I'm going to be honest. I did not expect Reyes to do what he did to Dustin. I talked to Dustin after the fight, and he's a pros pro. He took it in stride. How much did that surprise you watching it?
Shocked me. But it's the fight game, and it's the punches you don't see. It's the little transitional periods where Dominic is an athlete, and that he did an athletic thing. He did the right thing. I've never seen DJ like that, so that was a shocking thing to me. But like you said, he's a pros pro. He took it in stride. He's back in the gym. He's getting ready to correct that.
All right. One other Factory X teammate I want to ask you about. Brandon Royval is taking on Tatsuro Taira around the corner. Interesting fight. Taira has a lot of hype behind him, and rightfully so. What does Brandon need to do to win that fight?
Just be Brandon. I think he's one of the most talented and skillful guys that I've ever seen ever fight. So if Brandon is Brandon, he'll win that fight.
Circling back to you and Abdul Razak Alhassan again, October the 12th, UFC Vegas 98. You've already told me who's going to be in your corner. I would imagine Coach Montoya will be there as well. That'll be the third corner.
Yeah,
okay.
He'll be there.
Have you decided your walkout song?
Yeah, I'm probably going to stick with Tupac.
Tupac. That's not going to change.
Not going to change, probably not.
Okay, I like it. Can you give me a prediction with this fight with Alhassan? Do you have a prediction, or how do you see the fight going?
I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm going to walk out of there a winner. I could be bleeding. I could be not sweating. I could be dog tired. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I am going to leave there a winner.
And if you are healthy, Josh, are you hoping to fight again before the end of the year? Or is that too soon?
Yeah, if I could get in, get out, no injuries, nothing, I would love to fight 3 times this year. Yeah.
All right. And I want to ask you a little bit about the middleweight division before we get out of here today. Dricus and Strickland is supposed to happen for the title at some point again soon. That's clear. What Dana has said that's what they're going to make for the next title shot. How do you see that fight going? We talked before, and you said that you thought Strickland won that fight. Does he actually win it this next time?
I definitely think he does. Yeah, I can't go against Strickland. Dricus has shown so much good things. Like, he's a great champion. I just go America, you know?
Okay. I love it. Sean Strickland for the win, the new champ, whenever that happens. And also the former champ, Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whitaker, is taking on Khamzat Chimaev. If Chimaev makes it to the fight, which that's still to be determined, I mean, honestly, for my money, that fight might be the one I'm most intrigued about for the rest of this year, because I want to see what Khamzat does against an elite guy at 185. Analyze that one for me. Give me a pick.
Ooh, I want Bobby Knuckles to win this, and I think that he has the stamina, durability, and wrestling chops to do it. Chimaev's tough. He's going to come and he's going to try and bang and everything, and he's also a great wrestler. I just think that he fades. And I think that Bobby Knuckles doesn't. So I got to go with the Reaper.
I'm with you there. Josh, great talking to you again, my man. Best of skill come fight night. Again, October the 12th. Josh Fremd will be back in action. Before we do officially sign off today, I want to just give the floor to you. If there's anything you want to plug or anyone you want to thank, floor is yours.
Man, yeah, thank you for having me on this platform. I appreciate it. Shout out Gates Roofing for, being an awesome sponsor. And hey, check me out October 12th. I'm going to go get some redemption.